Howdy doody, everybody. Hope everyone's all right on this Sunday evening. Right, we're going to be talking about things are about to change for the worst, I reckon. This is my opinion. I'm not saying it is true. I'm just saying I think things are going to start to change. And it's all because of what happened to Anne Whitcomb, right? Anne Whitcomb. First of all, this is my opinion, right? Nobody else's my opinion. 1 second, let's see my volumes, right? Right. Now, the reason why I believe this is because it stinks. Everything that's been going on after it happened stinks. It absolutely stinks, right? I don't believe the story that they're pushing. I don't believe it one bit, right? What happened to her? I mean, Farage said it was something to do with, well, he got told apparently that it was a failed robbery. And then when I looked online, I looked at the picture of the person with the Easter eggs, and the other guy that actually was facing the front, where his car was, the red car, they don't look the same. They don't look the same. Look at the hair, it recedes far forward. The other one, it's receded back, like he's going bald from the front backwards, right? They don't look the same at all, right? Plus, I found it strange that somebody would be filming somebody on the day that it happened. The next door neighbour. I found that very, very strange. Very strange. How would they know where we was driving, where we're going? And yet there were weeds growing on the car. There were weeds literally growing on the car. So to go all that way and not service your car first, you know, to make sure it can make that distance, seems very fishy to me too. I don't like the story they're coming out with because I don't believe a word they're saying. I really don't. I think it's a cover up. I reckon they're doing it for one reason and one reason only, and they class it as terrorism. Well, hang on. One person dying is classed as terrorism. Now, I understand because she's politically part of the political establishment. I can understand where they're coming from. But what about Cabana guy? He killed 3 people, and yet they don't class that as terrorism. I don't know. Something strange to me. Something sounds fishy to me. And I think they've done this, so there's big changes coming. Big changes because of it. Now they can have a debate on it. Clap put terrorism in there, right? So therefore they can push for the digital ID, face recognition. Now Burnham, he's turned around and said he's going to scrap it all, the whole lot. I don't believe that for 1 minute, right? I don't believe that for 1 minute. For me, all governments lie through their teeth, right? I don't care what anyone says. That's what I believe. And I think what's happened, it's been done by design, or it was a failed robbery, right? And they're trying to think, well, we'll put tourism on top of that, and we'll pick someone out who can't really defend themselves because they're not all clued up in their head, you know, because apparently he's got autism, this guy, right? To me, and I noticed they picked out the far left, right? That shows they could push the terrorism bit, you know what I mean? Now, look, people do commit terrorism. But usually it's a person in a car going into a crowd, a person going into a school doing something really bad. You see what I'm saying? Under religious views, right? Terrorism, right? This story doesn't make sense. It does not make sense one bit. And the UK residents know it doesn't make sense. And yet the government are still pushing. They're still going on debates, classing it as terrorism. And yet, where did the guy's picture come from? Where did the guy's picture come from? Because the police didn't release it. It came from the news articles. Where did they get their information from? Because until a crime, a person's been convicted and gone to jail, it's usually a 1 or 2 years, 3 years, maybe more before they release the story properly, right? Like they've done in the past, right? It seems to me that they love lying to the public. They love lying to the public, right? I don't believe none of this that they're saying. I think there's something different that's happened. Totally different, right? But this is on my opinion and what I've looked at, right? You know, the big changes, what I reckon is going to come, is the digital ID, face recognition. That's why they're pushing for the cars to have cameras in now from next year, right? Get rid of the old cars. Why do you think all these scrapyards are being burnt? Why do you think they're all going on for setting on fire? So you can't replace your car parts. That's why, your old car parts. So you have to buy a new one, which is be tracked, traced, electronic, cameras in, you name it, right? You can see what they're doing, right? All the governments around the world are doing it, right? To me, I've not lost my trust in people. I've lost my trust in the governments, all of them, conservative, lefties, righties, middle, you name it, right? I don't trust none of them, because whoever gets into power is going to be corrupt anyway. And if they're not, they're going to be forced to be corrupt and be told, do as you're told if you want your funding, stuff like that. There's big changes coming, and things are about to change because of what happened to Anne Whittingham. And I'm not saying it was done on purpose. I don't know the full story. I'm just saying that this case stinks. It stinks to high heaven of something. And the public are not stupid. They're not stupid by far, right? But yeah, the government think that we're just bottom feeders with no thinking ability. Yeah, you're sadly wrong on that one. I'll tell you that now, right? But anyway, this is my opinion. Things are about to change now, and they're going to use Anne Whittingham's death as an excuse to push more draconian laws. In other words, dictatorship laws, right? Because we can't have this, one of our public people, in Parliament. Well, hang on, what about all the other innocent people in England? All the innocent people, they never got a sniff in the news, did they? And it's only because she was a member of Parliament that this is step front and forward of the paper, right? Straight to the fucking front page. But yet anything else gets ignored. You see the hypocrisy? Because she's a member of Parliament. Look, I don't hate her because I don't know her, right? I'm giving you two cases. What about the people who have been harmed in England, right? Nothing. Don't speculate, all this, that, and the other. And now it's, because this person a member of Parliament, and all this, that, and the other. Well, what about Tommy Robinson? What about his rights? He was nearly killed, right? I mean, I don't agree with everything that Tommy Robinson says anyway. I'm just giving you examples of the hypocrisy from one rule for the government, one rule for the public. That's what it is. It's not one rule for all, right? It's double standards, right? Hypocrisy in my eyes. This is why I don't trust religions, because they're corrupt. I don't trust governments because they're corrupt. I don't trust corporations because they're corrupt, right? And if it means that the government has done the job by getting me to distrust everything, no, they haven't, because I judge them the same, right? You have a right to be critical of people and governments and corporations and religions. You have a right. That's what you call free will from God, right? You have a right, a conscience, thinking ability. You have a right to determine what's right from wrong. Yes, everyone knows killing's wrong. Everyone knows stealing's wrong. Everyone knows, sexual abuse is wrong. Everyone knows that, right? Because it's been passed down to us for thousands of years, thousands upon thousands. And now the governments around the world are twisting it all, inverting everything, turning everything upside down to cause chaos around the world. So therefore, and this is all governments against each other, fighting in Iraq and Iran and Russia and Ukraine and all this, that and the other, right? All this fucking fighting. They're doing it on purpose. They're tipping everything upside so they can bring the one world government in, right? Because they don't want to. I mean, I heard on the grapevine that somebody, I can't remember the person, he's been talking about the Antichrist. Patel, I can't remember what he's called. And he's been saying that he's been preaching, but he's not religious at all, because the way he were preaching was we have to stop the Antichrist. Well, no, because if you stop the Antichrist coming, Jesus can't come, can he? Right? So there's something weird with this world. It's been inverted, it's been turned upside down, it's been stirred, it's been stamped down on. You know what I mean? Things are about to change. Seriously, in the next 6 months to a year, things are going to change with what happened with Anne Whitcomb, right? Now, who knows what the real story is behind it? But I don't trust this story they're pushing now. I don't trust it one bit because it stinks to high heaven. But that's my opinion. And I have a right to opinion too. Right? It's called free speech from God, not from the government telling you can't say this and you can't say that. Of course you can. Right? So point about educating people and not being able to talk about all the sexual things that are going on in this country and around the world, perversion, acts of criminal acts and stuff regarding women, children, and boys and girls and stuff like that. Well, hang on. God says it's wrong, so why can't we talk about it? Why can't we talk about it and say, look, this really happens in the world? It really happens. But no, the government wants to put like you in kids' gloves, you know what I mean? They're not Big Brother, it's Big Mother, not Big Brother, Big Mother around the world, Big Mother, because they think they have to just tell you what you can't do. Oh, we're just protecting you. Get screwed. You're not protecting us, you're controlling us. Trying to decide, override our free will. Get stuffed with that. I am not going to put up with that. I'm a natural born human being, right? Natural born. Not created in a lab, by the way. That's how you become a product, by the way. And all them people that have had IVF, you do know that child is not classed as a proper human because they fertilized it first before they put it in the woman, right? And even if it's not, and then you got surrogacy, right? You got surrogacy where a woman will have a baby with someone else, right? But that's done naturally. But if you can't have kids, you got to go for IVF. Well, that is done in a lab, right? Designer babies. Well, you're a product. You're not natural born, right? Natural born through the womb, through natural means, right? Not IVF, no, because they have a patent on that, don't they? When they did the IVF, how do you think they did? They do the experiment of IVF. They patented it after, so it becomes legit then, doesn't it? Right? I mean, now they've even come out with they've created a cell, a natural cell. Well, that is not natural, right? So therefore, it's been patented. So therefore, anyone that receives any organs in that body, whatever they grow that cell from, right, don't belong to you. It belongs to them. And if you open your mouth, they can say, right, back in here, let's whip it back out, leave him to die. How do you not know they won't? Because it's patented. It belongs to them, not you. Right? This is why I don't believe in organ donation. I don't believe in it. I don't believe in it one bit. Right? I've heard some horror stories about people going to hospital and not coming back out. And there's only one reason they put them in a coma. Right? It's because if you die and your signals to your heart stops your heart from beating, that's it. Your organs die instantly. Right? Within 1 or 2 minutes. So what they do is they put them unconscious, put them in a coma, pump them full of chemicals to keep the organs alive, and give them an amount of time to make it look legit, and then just whip everything out. Right? You're gone then. You know, do you know what I'm going to do when I die? I'm going to want to be buried. You know why? Why do you think why do you think they do cremation now and not burial anymore? It's because when you dig someone up and there's evidence that someone's whipped your organs out and they didn't give permission for that, well, there's evidence in there. So why do you think there's cremation? Because the evidence gets burnt away. People wake up, right? They're messing with nature that they shouldn't be messing with. And they will be answerable to God. Yeah, they will. Big time. Right? But anyway, like I said, it's coming up to 15 minutes now. Like I said, this is my opinion, right? But anyway, you guys have a good one. Take care. May God bless you.